This card I'm making today is my first attempt to make a card with the Distress Oxide inks, which have come out by Tim Holtz. I have tried a couple of different backgrounds, and some I liked, some I didn't care for, but I liked how this came out, and I thought that I could show this in a video so that you can get an idea of how the Distress inks work. This card is a Mother's Day card, and it features a stamp set that I got in the sale bin. It is very colorful. It has a very Native American design style to me, and I thought that it was very pretty, and that's about it. So let me go through the materials that I used to make this card. I have a card base cut 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have 2 white panels cut 5 1/4 by 4. I have a white panel which is cut 2 1/4 by 2 3/4, and I have fun foam of the same dimensions, and I have a larger piece of fun foam cut 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. It is adhesive on one side. If you didn't have fun foam, you could use foam tape. The inks I'm using today, as I mentioned, are the Distress Oxide inks, and I have lost one. Where's the other one? One's missing. Oh, here we go. Spiced Marmalade, Broken China, Fossilized Amber, and Cracked Pistachio. I'm also going to be using the Versafine Onyx Black, and I have a die cut which will print out the Happy Mother's Day. I got this online at Amazon from a company with no name. That's how it goes sometimes. The stamp set I'm using is by Recollections, called Dreamcatcher. This stamp set was trying to illustrate the use of ombre die pads. I don't have any ombre die pads. I've been pondering getting some, but they have shown up these stamps with an ombre look to get your creative mind going on that. So I might try an ombre card later in the future. I'm also going to be using the Stampin' Up! Sprinkles of Life stamp set. I also want to show the difference between the oxide inks and the regular distress inks. So for each of these colors, I have the comparable regular distress ink pads available, and I'm going to go through and show that so that you can see a side-by-side comparison. I also have rhinestones that I'm going to be using. So let me clear away all this stuff and then show you the technique. Okay, I brought in a piece of paper to try to keep my area a little bit clean, and I have one of the larger panels. So I'm going to do the distress ink one first to show how to do that. So I'm taking the Broken China, and I'm just taking the pad directly and running it back and forth across the cardstock. Carefully though. And now the Cracked Pistachio. I didn't have a large pad of this, but it's fine. It works the same way. Now the Fossilized Amber. Turn it around for this one. And finally the Spiced Marmalade. Now I have a paintbrush and clean water, and I'm going to go across these colors. And I'll get some blending, but not a lot, because this is regular paper, not watercolor paper. if I were to use watercolor paper, I'd get a lot better blending. Get that yellow off. Okay, now I'm going to take my heat tool and dry this off. I'll be right back. Alright, this is the panel with the Distress ink only. So now I'm going to do the same thing using the oxide inks. A new panel, and this is wet now, so I'm going to get another piece of paper. And do the same thing again. Set this aside. You may notice immediately that the Distress Oxide inks, the saturation is completely different. This ink is a lot wetter and it blends better. As you can see the difference right away with just those two colors. So that I noticed immediately. A little bit of yellow there that I don't want. Okay, this ink looks really thick. Okay. Woo. Messy too. I'm bringing in my water again, and I'm gonna do the same thing. You notice that it has the oxide effect, which looks a little bit lighter. Woo, definitely different. I have to clean between colors here, so I'll carry that up. Okay, and you see that it got a little bit lighter when the water hit it. That's the oxide effect. So I'm going to dry this one off, and then I'll be right back. Okay, now here is the other panel, and I don't know if you can tell very well, but it looks different to me. Move this out of the way. This one, the colors are more muted, and it looks thicker and a little bit chalky. This one is a little bit splotchy. And the colors change. These are the exact same colors on the left as the right, but the colors look different in this one than that one. So I've been told also in the videos that it looks different on a darker cardstock. So I have a piece of black here, and I'm going to try blending out one of the colors on here. I believe this is the Spice Marmalade. Let me double check. Yes. So I'm going to go over here with the Spice Marmalade, the regular one, on the black. And as you can see, you really can't see it because these colors are translucent. You can see right through it. So there's nothing there. But let me try with the Distress Oxide. And I hate to use my ink blending tool on this. Let me get a new one. I'll be right back. Okay, new tool, new pad. Let's try this and see how this looks. Well, I can see it. Definitely can see it, whereas the other one you couldn't see it. So yeah, you can see it on the dark cardstock. Okay. I would love to do a little bit more experimenting with this. I wanted to try one other thing on camera. The Distress Oxide reacts with water differently than the Distress inks. So I'm going to take the black paper, which I put the Distress ink over, and I'm going to give it a little spritz with water and see if the effect shows up. Here we go. Well, maybe I need a little bit more water. I don't know if you can see that. It's not as exact as I thought it was going to be. A little bit more water. Maybe I needed to apply it a little heavier. Let's try that. Again, grab the wrong one. Let's try from the other side. I'll try direct on the paper, and then I'll also try stamping on and see what that gives. I'm gonna put it on a lot heavier now. Okay, and let's see, what do I have with this? I'll try this, I guess. Okay, and just so you can see the difference, I'll try stamping that with the regular, or not see the difference as the case will be, because I don't think that's going to show up very well. Yeah, you really can't see it. It looks like just a bare outline. But let's give it a little squirt and see what happens. Well, with the heavier, I did see the oxidation that they were talking about. It gives a little bit of brightness to it. Yeah, I can see that right here, and a couple of places here. Okay, I'll be playing around with this some more in future videos. Clean this up. Now, the next step, not you, is to do a little stamping. So I have already put these Dreamcatchers on my blocks, so I'm just going to grab the black ink for this. We'll do this first. The sentiment in the lower corner. Now, because the water on the cardstock, it's a little bit warped, so you have to watch for that to make sure that you don't get shadows where you don't want them. That's good. Good. I'm going to clean all these blocks later. Just trying to zip through here for now. There. Okay. And the inside sentiment is very simple. It's just a sentiment and two little icons there. And for those, I want to pick up the colors from the inside, the outside, and bring it inside. So I'm going to take the stamp and just pick up a little bit of the, oh, I see, that's why I was moving those away. I need the oxide one. There we go. See, I knew immediately that that wasn't the right one. So I'm going to now take the other side of the stamp and pick up another color. In this case, I'm going to pick up the cracked pistachio and go up and sort of meet where the first color was. There, now I have a two-tone effect. And the same thing again. But for the top one, I'm going to pick up the blue. So I'll just use my finger and make sure that's clean. Okay, turn it the other way. I like that. That's pretty. And now the sentiment, which is gotten away from me. Where I'll put it. Here we go. Okay. Now I'm going to do the die cutting. I have the die cut, and I'm going to adhere the fun foam to this little bit of paper. Set this aside because I don't need it yet. For this fun foam, I usually pull the paper partially back and then lay it in place and then pull the paper the rest of the way. It's easier than handling a sticky thing. Okay, now I have the fun foam on the white. I'm going to take it and run it right to the Big Shot, and then I will get the letters, which already have the fun foam on it, rather than trying to do it with a bunch of little bit of foam tape and pop it up. I could also die cut multiple copies of this die cut out of the white and glue them together, which is what I did on this original one. But for this one, I'm going to use the fun foam. And I thought using the darker foam would give a nice shadow effect. So I'm going to run this through my Big Shot. I'll be right back. Okay. Now I have the die cut. And you just pop it right out. There we go. And just take a little pokey tool and punch out the little dots inside the letters. I've left the apostrophe in this because I don't want to try and find that little bitty piece if it gets away from me. So now I'm going to go on to assemble the card, and I'll just breeze right through this because it's pretty straightforward. So that is the card made, and I also made up the Distress ink regular one, you can see the difference between the two side by side. I think I made a little boo-boo on that, but it's okay. The colors are very muted and blended a lot better on this one than they were on that one. I'm still not convinced that I'm going to be a great fan of the Distress Oxides, but so far I like what I see, and I would recommend that you pick up a couple of colors. If you have favorite colors in the regular Distress family, pick up a couple of those colors in the Distress Oxides and try it out and see what you think. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Again, I'd like to really thank my brother David for providing the music for my videos. He wrote a piece specifically for this particular card, and I really appreciate it. Check out his channel. The link will be down below. Take care.